This is One Person Found This Helpful with me, Frank Skinner. Hello, yes. Welcome to One Person Found This Helpful, the show where we look at online reviews and indeed previews, like this one from TV Guide about the 1994 film Interview with a Vampire, which said, Tom Cruise is a soulless recluse who lurks in the darkness and sucks the life from all who come near him. He's also in this movie about a vampire. Oh, lovely. You wouldn't be able to reach your neck. Anyway, please welcome our four-star panel. On my left is Jo Caulfield and Lily Phillips, and on my right, Simon Evans and John Tothill. So, this being a show all about reviews, I want to ask the panellists for any particularly terrible reviews that may have sucked the life out of them, starting with John.
Well, I did a disastrous run of shows on a cruise ship where the clientele on this cruise were kind of... Would you know what I mean if I said Abrahamically old? Do you know what I mean? Like this cruise ship made the House of Lords look like Love Island. Right? And they would just tell you what they thought of the show at the buffet the next day. Come up to you, I hated that. Don't quit your day job. They'd say that to me a lot. Don't quit your day job. I don't know if you've ever tearfully said to someone, this is my day job. But it's not a victory, you know. And then the real review was, on the second night, it was a 300-seat theatre. In the first 15 minutes of this gig, 288 of them walked out. Isn't that amazing? For some of them, this was the first time they'd walked in years. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't believe it. Oh, God, so yeah, that was pretty damning. That was probably the worst review, I think.
I did a gig, and there was so much white hair in the audience. I said to the lighting guy, I don't know if we need lights tonight. You know, when there's snow on the ground, it never really gets dark. It was like that. Anyway, what about you, Lily?
Well, I used to work as a Disney princess impersonator.
Wow.
Yeah, for rich kids' birthday parties, and it was as horrific as it sounds, because the parties were super opulent. Like the kids, like one of them, the birthday girl had to sit on an enormous golden throne so she could look down on all the plebs that she'd invited. Another one had an actual VIP section that not all of the 4-year-olds were allowed into.
It's good to learn early.
And it was at one of these parties that I had the worst review, the worst thing that's ever been said to me by one of these little girls. We were just playing, having a nice time. I bent over, she looked down my dress, and she said to me, Cinderella, why do you wear a bra if you don't have any boobies? Yeah, kicked her right out of the VIP section.
What about you, Simon?
I was doing a short tour in the West Country, and a good friend of mine, David Fitzgerald, who's a bit of a local celebrity down there, Radio Devon and so on, was driving me around, which was very kind of him. We spent a couple of days together and we had a good laugh, and that made it into his diary column in the Torbay Advertiser. I was delighted to show my friend Simon Evans the sights of Devon and so on recently, and there were a few anecdotes from our trip. And at the bottom of it, being online, it said, if you enjoyed this story, click here for another story you might enjoy. And I did, and it was about a house fire in Plymouth. Which was obviously somehow the algorithm of, well, if you enjoy listening about Simon Evans driving around in Devon, you're going to love watching smoke billowing out of a first floor window.
It's because you got on like a house on fire.
It's very good.
I'm off now, thanks.
What about you, Jo?
This is from the Edinburgh Fringe website, where members of the public, if they come to see your show, then they can write a review of you. And they said, I first saw Jo Caulfield at the Fringe about 20 years ago, so I was interested to see if it was the same one. She was very funny, but much taller than I remembered. We sat at the front, and I got a crick in my neck from looking up at her. She must be nearly 6 foot. I'm not 6 foot. I don't remember her being so tall last time. Maybe we were sitting further away.
Okay, this first round is called Where on Earth Are We? And it's about destinations, although sometimes people's reviews of places are influenced by factors out of the venue's control. Like this person who wrote about the Grand Canyon National Park saying, my wife told me our baby wasn't mine right as we got there, so 1 star. I don't think I'd tell anyone that while we were standing on the edge of a ravine. Anyway, Simon and John, you're going to hear a couple of reviews of a tourist attraction. If you don't get it after 2 reviews, you can hear a third one at the cost of a point. So here's your first one, and it's simply describing what it's like to be in this venue. Have you ever been inside a car battery? That's what it's like inside. A dark sewer of leathered torsos, cages, slings, dark rooms and darker alcoves, blacked out windows as if it's the Blitz and Vera Lynn's inside singing We'll Meet Again. Brackets, she isn't.
It does feel like a Ronnie Corbett sketch about the BBC canteen or so.
Exactly. I saw a fabulous interview with Dame Vera Lynn on daytime television, obviously a few years ago.
Yeah.
And they said to her, do you think there'll ever be another Forces Suite? She said, the thing is, you see, modern wars, they're just not long enough. So, does it ring any bells?
Wait, so but the leather torso dark rooms thing, that feels like a nightclub.
It
right?
feels like I'm being targeted here into like just flushing scarlet because I'm obviously familiar with this. Like,
are you familiar with this?
The torture garden or whatever, you know.
Simon?
Yeah.
You're a dark horse, Simon Evans.
Listen, the gimp straps are still, they leave a welt, you know. No, I have no idea. I don't know what it's talking about.
Here's the second one. We were lucky enough to get in after watching others get turned down. Once inside, we were weapon checked and our phones had stickers placed to prevent photos. We were getting a little worried. Luckily, once upstairs, the techno music was pumping and the drinks were delicious. Had a great time dancing. Only issue was, when we asked for some water, bar staff told us to go drink out of the toilet. But hey, that's blank.
I think I've been to this place. At Berghain, you can drink the tap water.
Where?
And Berghain in Berlin.
Did you drink out of the toilet?
But they send you to the toilet to... you can drink the tap water from the toilet, but you can't get it at the bar.
I thought it was like a Crofts. But you're absolutely right. Anyway, it is Berghain in Berlin.
Wow.
Yeah. I got turned away about 4 or 5 times. I kept joining the back of the queue.
Oh, well, that is very apt, because listen to this review. As a British person, queuing holds a very special place in my heart. This queue lasts a good solid 1.5 hours. And one annoyance I've found with many queues is that once at the front, you're expected to enter a club. Again, Berghain solves this problem by turning you away at the front of the queue so you can go to the back and buckling for round 2. Best queuing experience of my life.
Perfect for British tourists, isn't it?
It
There's
is.
something for everyone.
Yes, it is the famous Berghain Club in Berlin, probably best summed up by this. It's a sort of a review, but actually an academic paper published in 2022, which described Berghain as a pharmacolibidinal constellation of porous sexual orientation. And the brilliant thing is, in German, that's actually one word. OK, let's see how Joe and Lily get on trying to identify their well-known destination. I have to say to you that it's a destination, but it's one that can be found in several places. Here's your first review. The light-up arrows gave me low-key epilepsy and was stumbling around like a horse on ketamine. Overall, I feel 4 stars is a fair review, as I did get a beautiful beanbag.
Berghain.
It could be, couldn't it? Light-up arrows.
And a beanbag, is that a beanbag to sit on or like a small beanbag for chucking around?
Oh,
They gave you.
Yeah.
for watching something.
Oh, watching, arrows,
In
but
the
also you get
sky.
ketamine. It's quite a mixture.
Here's your second review. Good products, nice store. Some of the staff were a bit aggressive when I tried to use the display toilets due to them not being well signed. It could be Berghain still.
Yeah.
There might be a big one in Warrington, I believe I've been to, if it is
IKEA.
IKEA.
Do you know what? It is IKEA. Here's some more about IKEA, the well-known Swedish furniture store. Going into IKEA is like going into a teenager's room. You only go in for one thing, but you come out with 6 mugs, a cake tin and a set of cutlery. What about This, hearing this is interesting. One time I went to IKEA and apparently there's a group of older women who have a walking club and they just walk around the entirety of IKEA about 20 times.
I don't think that's a club. I think they're just lost.
Yeah, that might be right. I like the idea of it. Even 4 or 5 years ago, I wouldn't have found that erotic. But now, at the end of that round, Simon and John have 2 points, Jo and Lily have 2 points. Okay, this round's called What Did I Buy? Everything gets reviewed, although not always in the right spirit, like this perfume, which describes itself on its website thus. From a lush green world of freshness comes Elizabeth Arden green tea. The fragrance that energizes the body, excites the senses, and invigorates the spirit. Brimming with sparkling flavours, the scent harmoniously intertwines natural ingredients to form an uplifting, revitalising and balanced fragrance experience. To which someone has said, why does it smell like feet? So each team is going to hear 2 reviews of some product or brand and they have to work out what it is. If they can't get it after 2, I'll give them another review, but then they only get 1 point. Simon and John, here's your first review. It can't be reasoned with. It can't be bargained with, it doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear, and it absolutely will not stop, ever.
That is the strapline for the Terminator, isn't it? I don't know if there's like a product you can get that's called that, but isn't that what it is?
That's quite a long strapline for a villain. Yeah. It doesn't have any emotions, and it just doesn't stop.
Can't be reasoned with, can't be bargained with, doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear, absolutely will not stop. Could be the Antiques Roadshow.
Yeah.
Me and my wife watch the Antiques Roadshow and we keep shouting, got it. And the reason we do that is someone will talk about how brilliant this vase is and they'll say, and in auction I'd expect you to get between 150, 200 pounds. And they go, oh, lovely. And we're going, got it. Because they're clearly devastating.
Yeah, that's sad.
Here's your second review. Fiona is blue. She's been with us 20 plus years and is going strong. I've had 4 children coming out of their rooms first thing in the morning and cuddling up to her while they wake up.
Oh my God. Okay.
Is it like a robo vacuum cleaner or something like that? Were you thinking that? Yeah.
It's so interesting we both went for that. And we're both in matching shirts.
Well, how many Terminator-like household utensils are
You're right,
there?
that's the most Terminator one, isn't
great.
it?
Minds think alike.
Yeah.
It's wrong. I think the next one might well push you into the right area. Not happy that the boiling hob has already faltered.
The boiling hob has been faltered.
Can I give you the rest of this review?
Yeah.
Not happy that the boiling hob has already faltered, to which the company in question sent a fairly detailed reply, but signed it off warm regards, to which he responded, I don't want warm regards, I want boiling regards.
Well, if it's got a boiling hob, I suppose it's some sort of cooker.
An Arga?
You got it!
Wow.
It's an Arga, those huge cast-iron Scandinavian stoves with lift-up hot plate covers on top. Not so common these days. In fact, when someone posted a picture of theirs on a US-based Reddit group, they had to explain what it was, at which point someone said, I thought it was a first-class toilet on the Titanic. Jo and Lily, here are your reviews. This is something you not so much buy as subscribe to, I would say. So what merited this review? Loathed every second of it. The noise, the sweaty humidity, the ground down lady parts. If I could have worked out how to get off safely, I would have left halfway through.
Another one of my Edinburgh Festival reviews.
Ground down lady parts.
Round down lady parts.
Yeah, could it be a Chinese herbalist?
That is the sort of thing that'll help you sleep.
Yeah?
Yeah. Clear up your acne.
It is
ground down lady
about.
parts.
Would you like another clue?
Yes.
Yeah.
Here goes. The room is usually dark and there are often pools of sweat on the floor, under the bikes, especially from big sweaty men. Plus it's boring and I used to teach it.
This sounds like the thing in the gym that I listen to and go, God, that looks like absolute hell, where they're all cycling together, one of those things.
At like 4 a.m.
Yeah, and it's like, come on, do it, pump. Yeah, and they go up on their hind legs, so if you're behind someone, you can have a man's bum in your face or ground down lady parts. I don't know what they call it.
Spin class.
It is. It is exactly that. It is a spin class. And I've got to read you the third review, even though you didn't need it. I really hate these way too perky people and want to punch them right in the face. Nothing ruins my workout more than a bunch of woos coming from some perky chick, sweating miserable silence like the rest of us fatties. Wow. Someone says, spin class is not my favourite. I have a hard time following the instructor. I usually can't see them well because I booked a spot late and I'm stuck in the far corner, and the music selection is often not to my taste. I also don't like riding a bike. So at the end of that round, Simon and John are on 3 points, but Jo and Lily are on a big 4 points. This next round's called This Was Your Idea, and it's about those obscure museums and attractions you encounter when you're on holiday and you want to punish the kids. Like this one I found. It's the Anesthesia Heritage Centre, and it describes itself as a museum and library to tell the story of the history of anaesthesia, from the first ether-soaked rag to the present day. And it gets generally good reviews, including this person on TripAdvisor who simply said, knockout. So I'm going to ask you all in turn to tell me about a weird and wonderful attraction you've come across together with some reviews. And we'll start with Jo.
This was what it said on TripAdvisor. At first, you think, what's so unusual about this museum that displays antique jewellery and pictures? Well, it's that everything you're looking at is made from human hair. Yeah, it's Leela's Hair Museum, and it's all sort of like wreaths made of hair, anything crafted, which I hate anyway. Any sort of crafted thing where people go, oh, why don't you do embroidery? Because we've had an industrial revolution, that's why. But so it's all that stuff you hate anyway, but made out of human hair. So there are some reviews of Leela's Hair Museum. If you like different things, then stop for a visit. This is certainly different, and I learnt a lot about human hair. Don't go if you plan on a meal soon afterwards. There was another one. Now, apparently, because she has celebrity hair, so she says, this is the hair she's claiming to have. There is hair there from loads of celebrities, including JFK, Elvis, and the Blessed Virgin Mary. I know. I planned to stay 90 minutes or so, but ended up staying about 2.5 hours.
Oh, she had an extension.
Yeah, so that's it, her hair museum.
It's really horrible.
It's really horrible, isn't it?
What did you find, John?
I found the Morpeth Chantry Bagpipe Museum. It's apparently a brilliant museum. There's a couple of reviews here. I had hoped to include photos, but photography inside is strictly forbidden. Not sure why. Bagpipes are hardly top secret. Do you think it's true? Isn't it? I think bagpipes are probably the least secretive thing ever. I can't think of a single thing out of any things that are less secretive than a bagpipe. And someone else has written, it's just a collection of bagpipes. Oh, come on, you've got to enter into the spirit of it. I don't know what you're expecting. But then, to be fair, he says, the option of hearing them was not working. Which is a shame, isn't it? Maybe a blessed relief, actually, who knows. And then another one. I just visited them again after 15 years away. Their headphones are still not working.
And what about you, Simon?
Well, I've got one that I haven't been to it, I'm afraid, but I find it quite fascinating. You'll be familiar with the experimental composer John Cage.
Ah, yes.
Most famous for a piece called 4 minutes and 33 seconds, which is in 3 movements of total silence, in which the audience are supposed to become aware of the ambient sound of the venue, very much as we have on regular occasions.
Does it open with... Do you hear the lid of the piano open at the beginning?
It's not necessarily played on piano. You can play it with a string quartet, can play
suppose
it,
you
or
can.
even... This is another piece he composed in the 80s called As Slow as Possible. There is a tune, there's a score, but his instruction was to play it as slow as possible, and it became a challenge. Various ensembles would play it more and more slowly, and it crept up from 12 hours to 20 to 24 hours. And now a church in Halberstadt in Germany has extended that and has begun a performance which will take 640 years. An interesting fact, though, the piece actually begins in the sheet music with a rest. So the first year and a half, completely silent. In fact, they've only just started getting into noises. Some visitors have found it rather disappointing. One of them says, in real life, this means you hear one constant monotonous tone, which only changes into a different tone after several years. If you like such a sound, you may as well wait for your fridge to turn on and listen to that. Just as interesting, less travelling time. And another has observed that the monks at Bacardi have clearly taken a vow of tinnitus.
I'd like to turn up at the very end and ask for an encore. OK, Lily.
OK, so I'm going to lower the tone quite dramatically. I've chosen a place called the Icelandic Phallological Museum. It boasts more than 200 penises and penile parts, representing almost all Icelandic land and sea mammals. The word almost is kind of a threat, isn't it? Like they're still on the hunt to complete the set. So I was thinking if you're like a kind of rare otter swimming around Iceland, just hold on to your trousers. It's had mixed reviews. Some people really liked it. One person said, the place smells deliciously amazing due to the on-site calf making fresh penis waffles.
Wow.
Nothing worse than a day-old penis waffle. Very nice, an extraordinary exhibition of different penises. In my opinion, the section on the human penis could have been a little larger. But it is quite cold in Iceland, isn't it?
Exactly. Phew, well, they were all very, very good. I am very, very tempted to go to the John Cage thing. Because you say it's just a good thing to talk about.
Yep.
Not that the Phallological Museum wouldn't be, but people would expect that of me. So I'm going to give you a bonus pint, Simon.
Thank you.
OK, this round's called What Am I Watching? And it's about films. Every new film attracts criticism, both good and bad. Although in the case of Emerald Fennell's recent adaptation of Wuthering Heights with Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi, mainly bad. One person said, Emily Bronte died of tuberculosis 177 years ago, yet this adaptation is still the worst thing that's ever happened to her. So each team's going to hear two real reviews left by people who've watched a particular movie, and they have to work out what the movie is. We'll start with Jo and Lily, and here is your first review. An unstructured montage of a woman with no discernible personality walking in and out of rooms, occasionally accompanied by a voiceover of empty ChatGPT-sounding banalities delivered in an effectless monotone. Blank shouldn't even be called a documentary. It's just footage.
So it's it could be any reality TV thing.
Did you say documentary?
Yeah, someone walking in and out of rooms delivering banalities. Could be a estate agent. Shall I continue?
You'd better.
Here's your second review. Nobody wants to watch Timu Ava Braun attempt to patch a sentence together for 10 minutes. She's an absolute imbecile, an oxygen thief.
I feel that is a perfect description. I think it's Melania. It
is actually Melania. Yeah. You're absolutely right. It is Melania. The extraordinary vanity project about the First Lady. Someone said, this person I think is a supporter of the president and his wife. So interesting to see behind the scenes at the White House. Melania has such style and grace, elegance, and when it comes to her marriage, nothing can touch her. Which I think was part of the pre-NOP agreement. What about this one? I pirated this movie and I still want my money back. So Simon and John have to hear some reviews and guess their movie. Here's the first one. Even as a kid, I could appreciate what a big deal this movie was. People were genuinely excited when they talked about it. The intelligent story and suspense, the iconic characters. Of course, under other circumstances, a cultured man who can hold a conversation and pick out your skincare products by smell might be a catch.
Interesting.
I can do TCP at 150 yards. There's 2 in tonight.
I mean, I think I know what it is.
Really?
But you never watch movies,
I'm
so it'd be
terrible
more
on
entertaining
films.
for the audience if you have a guess first.
Oh God, this is like my anxiety dream. I'm so bad on films. I've only seen Chicken Run, really. That's it. Is it Chicken Run?
No. Okay, the next review, I really like this. I love a moment of revelation. Get this. Oh, he means like eating an old friend, not like having an old friend over and eating together. I get it now.
I'm absolutely.
He still doesn't know it.
Eating
How do
an
you
old
function
friend.
in the modern world without knowing this? Is it like everyone in the audience knows this, right? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah.
What a nightmare. Lily doesn't know. Thank
No,
God.
look, you know, I didn't know the German gay club. Horses for courses.
It's Silence of the Lambs.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I have seen it actually.
Oh, you have seen
Yeah, I
it?
have seen Silence of the Lambs. Yeah. with
So
Anthony
just
Hopkins.
that and Chicken Run.
Yeah.
Are you sort of working your way through the barnyard? Oh, wow. I like this review very much. Hannibal's parents naming their child like herderer, no. Kidnapper, no. Terrorist, no. Arsonist, no. Yes, it was indeed Silence of the Lambs, directed by Jonathan Demme and released in 1991. And I have to share this review as the final word on the whole thing. Of course, this is what happens when men learn to cook and sew. So let's have a look at the final scores. Oh no, Simon and John are on 8 and Joe and Lily are on 8. Okay, I leave you with this genuine review of a large drum of something called Passion Lubricant. And the reviewer says, as UPS discreetly unloaded the drum, the driver accidentally spilled it on my driveway. Any amount of cars can now fit into the garage. Goodbye.
One Person Found This Helpful was hosted by Frank Skinner and starred Jo Caulfield, Lily Phillips, Simon Evans and John Tothill, and was written by Frank Skinner, Catherine Brinkworth, Sarah Dempster, Jason Hazley, Carl Mins, Katie Sayer and Peter Toulouche. The show was devised by Jason Hazley and Simon Evans with the producer David Tyler, and it was a positive production for BBC Radio 4.